we've got to talk about the left once again, because apparently these folks still think the sky is falling, as they always do, right? When Uncle Trump is in charge, oh my goodness, the sky is falling. It's all coming to an end. Oh no. This video I'm about to show you guys has been going absolutely viral. It's been everywhere. And I want to show it to you guys. Okay? So brace yourself. It's pretty wild. With that being said, let's dive in.
Clear. And I need y'all to hear me like let me be real clear. And I need y'all to hear me like our lives depend on it, because they do. We are not in a political debate. We are in a war, not a metaphorical one, not a symbolic one, but a strategic, well-funded, policy-backed, legally armed war for the soul of this country and the bodies of every person that don't fit the mold of a straight, cis, Christian, white man. And the wildest part is half of y'all still don't see it. You're playing checkers on a chessboard that's already been cleared. You think that they're just coming for trans folks, for queer kids, for immigrants, for poor people. No, baby, they are coming for order, and they're bringing chaos as a battering ram. White men, the most coddled demographic in American history, have finally realized that they are no longer the majority numerically, and so now they're using power, policy, and platforms to cling to what they can't reclaim, which is control. They've decided that they can't run the show, and so they'll burn the whole damn theater down. And the gag is they told us. They told us who they were when they showed up in Charlottesville with tiki torches and khakis, when they stormed the Capitol in broad daylight. They banned books, rewriting the ones they left behind, outlawing truth, targeting teachers, sterilizing trans care, gagging free speech, gutting Medicaid, criminalizing being poor, being black, being alive. And while they are passing laws, we're posting memes. Y'all keep waiting for the moment to get bad enough. The moment was Roe. The moment was George Floyd. The moment was Pulse. The moment was Trayvon, was Uvalid, was Obergefell being threatened. It was Tennessee banning drag. It was Florida erasing history. It was Texas legalizing bounty hunts on uteruses. It was Alabama writing segregation back into the books with a fresh coat of Christian nationalism. It was Trump saying quiet and screaming at the same time. And it was us arguing over which identity would lead the resistance while the fascists were halfway through their takeover. I am not here to play with y'all. I am not here to say vote, and that I hope that you remember to vote in November. I am here to say mobilize or get mowed the down. Because while we're dissecting microaggressions, they're orchestrating genocide in suits and ties. And if that feels extreme to say, then you haven't been paying attention. This country is on fire, and instead of water, most of y'all brought vibes. White supremacy doesn't need a new plan. It's using the same playbook that it always had. Divide, distract, dominate. And what are we doing? Sitting in silos playing the oppression Olympics, letting respectability politics babysit our rage. And that ends today. I don't care if you're gay, bi, trans, poor, disabled, undocumented, formerly incarcerated, fat, femme, sex working, devout, disillusioned, or just trying to make it through the next week. If you are not white, cis, straight, or Christian and a man with inherited wealth or generational impunity, you are on the list. And if you think for 1 second that aligning yourself with whiteness, with maleness, with neutrality will save you, straight or Christian and a man with inherited wealth or generational impunity, you are on the list. And if you think for 1 second that aligning yourself with whiteness, with maleness, with neutrality will save you, baby, you are building the gallows with your silence. So let's get honest. You want to know why they're winning? It's because they unify in fear. You want to know why we keep losing? It's because we fracture in ego. The right builds armies and the left builds hashtags. This is your clarion call. If you were wondering where the revolution is, it's wherever you are standing. If you were wondering what to do, start where you are. Call your lawmakers. Shut down your boardrooms. Go and fund black and queer and trans-led organizations. Walk out, sit in, raise hell, and do it now, because when they come knocking for the next person, don't you dare act surprised that there's nobody left to answer the door for you. If it gets you fired, let it. If it finally makes them mad enough to see you, let it. Because, baby, if we don't act, we are not surviving. We are surrendering. And I don't know about y'all, but I wasn't born to die quietly. I was born to be a problem. So let's become a problem that they can't solve together.
Okay, that was just a bunch of silly talk, bro. On one hand, I do feel bad for folks like this because they've allowed mainstream media and Democrats to fearmonger them into believing this nonsense. We're at war, people are being hunted. Show me the videos where legal citizens are being hunted. Show me. I can show you plenty of videos, and I have showed you guys plenty of videos of illegal citizens getting deported, while legal citizens, whether they were black, brown, or anywhere in between, were all around there recording, calling ICE agents names, yelling at them, doing all types of crazy stuff, and the legal citizens were not deported. The legal citizens weren't touched unless they interfered with what ICE was doing. There's plenty of videos online. The only people that are getting grabbed and kicked out of this country are illegal immigrants. That's it. That's it. Legal citizens are not being deported. So I took some notes because goodness gracious. White straight men want to burn it all down because they can't run it. Last time I checked, it's a bunch of leftists and Democrats that want to burn everything and change everything. Just saying. So it ain't folks on the right that want to burn everything down. Whenever the left protests, though, you see a bunch of buildings on fire and cars and everything else. So how does that even make sense? Gagging free speech. Y'all remember when there was things that we couldn't say online, and if we did, we got banned or kicked off? Was that Trump that was in office when that was going on? Y'all remember when we found out the White House contacted social media and told them to censor certain things? Was that Trump's White House that was doing that? Nope, I don't think so. I don't think so. That was under Democrats, but I'm just saying, you ignore that though, you know. So who's really gagging free speech now? Exactly. It ain't us. Unify in fear. It's funny that you mentioned unify in fear. Like, come on, bro. That is hilarious because that's exactly what was just happening in that video. Trying to unify people in fear, but it's us on the right that are unifying people in fear. Make that make sense. Goodness gracious, you can't make this stuff up, man. You really can't. Oh, man. Jeez.
Let's go. The big, beautiful bill has passed. President Trump made promises. President Trump kept his promises. Now you got a whole bunch of people upset, mad, angry, saying, oh my goodness, wait and see what's going to happen after they sign this bill. Wait is going to see what's going to happen. You know, they said the same thing about President Trump doing the tariffs, saying, oh my goodness, all the prices of everything are going to go up through the roof. Well, guess what? Things are getting better based on President Trump's tariffs that he put in place. So stop with all the nonsense. You don't need to send me any messages telling me that, oh my goodness, this is going to be terrible for America. Where have you been for the last 4 years before President Trump? Every single thing that the Democrats did in this country was terrible. And for some reason, you want to continue down that path, which doesn't make a lick of sense. Talking about common sense, radical leftist lunatics don't have any sense at all. You don't have any. And I think you like being that way because President Trump said no taxes on tips, no taxes on overtime, no taxes on Social Security, and they just signed it today. So tomorrow morning, according to President Trump, 9 a.m., he's going to sign the big, beautiful bill into law, and it's going to be a done deal. For all of you that are upset with President Trump for keeping his promises, shame on you. Shame on you. Why are you even in America if you hate America so much? Because this bill is America first. And no, it's not going to get rid of Medicare for millions of Americans, maybe illegals, and maybe people who was gaining the system. Probably going to remove it for them, rightfully so. So all of y'all, buckle up. America is about to explode with beautifulness. Gotta love it.
Absolutely. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. And he said something that was quite interesting. You know, if I don't even remember that person's name, but the first clip, if people on the left truly believe that, right, that we're at war and us folks on the right are hunting the people on the left, blah, 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 you know, if people really believe that on the left, then why are you here in America? Why are you here? Because for me, if I truly believe that I was being hunted, right, I'm getting out of Dodge. I'm getting up out of the way. I'm gone. I'm out of here. If I really believe that, if my life was truly at risk, like I'm getting up out of here, coach. Like, see you. Gone before you come to get me. Yep, I'm out. I'm out of here. So like, even like there's a part of me that believes that they don't even truly believe what it is that they're saying. Because if you did, your actions would be different. You'd be gone. You'd be out of here. I mean, that's just common sense, you know? So like, That was a great point that he made. Like, bro, why are you here if you truly believe that? It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. But, I want to talk about this other clip because, of course, Michelle Obama, and I don't know if you guys have seen this or not, but Michelle Obama is apparently losing a whole lot of sleep because Trump is deporting illegals? Yeah.
Michelle Obama says that Trump's deportation policy keeps her up at night.
Well, in this current climate for me, it's, what's happening to immigrants. And now that we have leadership that is sort of indiscriminately determining who belongs and who doesn't. And I don't know that we will have the advocates to protect everybody. And that frightens me. It keeps me up at night.
She's worried about Trump's 100,000 deportations. It's weird that 3 million deportations under Barack didn't even interrupt her kale smoothie schedule. In fact, she slept so well, she wrote a book called Becoming instead of I'm Sorry.
Michelle Obama is losing sleep because illegals are being deported. Meanwhile, her husband is literally nicknamed the deporter-in-chief.
So I guess my question for you guys is, now that I've made you aware that these riots are not about illegals and they're not about immigrants, if they did, they would have been protesting under Barack Obama, who's also dubbed the deporter-in-chief. And frankly, I think many of you would say that Barack Obama was a good president. Are you going to say that Barack Obama wasn't a good president? Yes or no, Governor Walz? Do you think he was a good president?
Do I think Barack Obama was a good president? I think he did a good job.
Okay, how about you, Governor Pritzker?
I think he did a good job.
Hochul?
Hochul, and yes, he did do a good job.
Okay, next. Perryman?
I think President Obama did a good job.
So then you would understand that Barack Obama had the very same policies, for the most part, on immigration that Republicans are parroting today, and yet you guys are sitting here saying that we're Gestapo. And what I would tell you is that what happens with open borders is that the real people that are coming here, the ones that are exploited, actually it hurts people on both sides, not just Americans, but the illegals. Some of you had said here to the actual committee that you are doing what you can to assist these people. But what I would say is that your policies aren't actually done from a place of understanding and sympathy. I would say that it's actually doing the exact opposite. And when you use brown people, just like they use black people with BLM and Marxists during BLM to usher that in, when you use brown people and you put Mexican flags with them saying that you stand up for illegal immigrants, but you follow the money and it's going back to the Communist Party, what you're essentially doing is using your platform as elected officials, the trust that the American people have put in you, essentially to usher in communism. You're not actually fighting for American values. Don't roll your eyes, because it's a serious topic and that's where the money's coming from.
Anna Paulina Luda, ladies and gentlemen. Calling out the facts. Calling out the facts. The deporter-in-chief, you heard him, did a fantastic job. From all those governors, Tim Walz, Pritzker, Tim Walz of Minnesota, right? Pritzker, Illinois, Hochul, New York, and I don't remember the last lady where she's from. But they all said he did a good job. Meanwhile, he deported more illegals than any other president in U.S. history. Barack Obama deported more illegals than any president in U.S. history. And you just heard Democrat governors say that he did a good job. But now all of a sudden that Trump is doing it's the worst thing ever. And he's the Gestapo. It's the new Hitler. We're at war, where the people are being hunted. Stop it with this nonsense. And you know what's even crazier? CNN went live on air and admitted most people agree with us. And I feel like these numbers are even low.
Uniformity here. That's what I really think you see. You see real uniformity. Deported all immigrants who are here illegally. 55% of the New York Times. Marquette, 64%. CBS News, 57%. ABC News with a slightly different question, 56%. So what you're seeing essentially here is a very clear indication that a majority of Americans, in fact, when they're asked this blunt question, which I believe gets at the underlying feelings, do in fact want to deport all immigrants who are here illegally. There's no arguing with these different numbers because they're all essentially the same across 4 different pollsters.
So if they say yes today-ish, how has that changed over time?
Yeah, this is where I think you get very interesting. And so we'll take a look at that ABC News question in particular, because you can really see that there's been a massive shift from when Trump was first getting into office 8 years ago, right? Deport all undocumented immigrants. You go back to 2015, I'm going to come to your side of the screen, it was 42%. Hello. Go to 2016, it was 36%. Look at where we are now. This was taken at the end of last year, 56%. This is 20 points higher than it was just before Trump got into office the first time. So feelings towards immigration in this country, feelings towards undocumented immigrants and deporting all of them have become considerably more hawkish. And I think that gives Donald Trump much more leverage to go with the American people and sort of have these hawkish, some might say harsh, different rhetoric and also issue-based sort of going after immigrants who are here illegally.
Boom. And honestly, I feel like those numbers are low. If I had to guess, and I'll need to double check and see if Rasmussen or Trafalgar or Atlas Intel, one of the most accurate pollsters, because those are the most accurate pollsters. All these other pollsters are bull BS, in my humble opinion. And we've seen that with past elections. We've looked at the polls from all of these other places, and then we've looked at places like Atlas Intel or Rasmussen or Trafalgar, and they've all been basically spot on. I believe Atlas Intel is the most accurate. It came the closest. So I need to take a look at their polls and see if they have any polls on, asking people about immigration. But if I had to guess, I would guess that number is probably close, if not in the mid 70s. Like 3/4 of this country believe that illegals should be deported. That's just my humble opinion, but you comment below and let me know what you think that actual number is. Do you think these numbers were accurate? Actually, I believe one of the pollsters was Marquette was at 64. I believe that's a lot closer to the real number. Like I said, I believe the real number is just over 70. Maybe even possibly mid 70s, but that's just my humble opinion. Like I said, y'all let me know your thoughts and your opinions in the comments, and let me know what you thought about that first clip. The whole fear-mongering, the whole 4-minute long rant, we're at war, people on the right are hunting people on the left. Y'all let me know your thoughts and your feelings about that. Like I said, I honestly kind of feel bad for folks like that, just because it's all fake. It's all fake. Like, if it's actual fear, if it's truly fear, then it's all fake. You know what I mean? Nobody's being hunted unless you're here illegally. And yes, ICE is coming to get you. They coming to get your behind, and you about to get deported. So if you're here illegally, yeah, you might be getting, I guess, hunted. I wouldn't use that term, but sure. If you're here legally, then no. Nobody's messing with you. Go about your business. This whole nonsense, we at war, we unify in fear and blah, blah, blah. Your silence is building the gallows. That's just a bunch of nonsense, And I see why the polls that came out, I believe it was the New York Post, maybe New York Post. I can't remember, but there have actually, I think there's been a couple of articles that have talked about how people on the left are the most depressed folks in America. And I believe it's stuff like that is why. It's a bunch of fake nonsense. For nothing. But hey, like I said, get in the comments. Let me know your thoughts and your opinions. Make sure you guys hit that like button before you go. Y'all stay safe out there. Peace and love. I'm out.